It is that time for the National Football League season to begin in 2024, which means it is time for another season preview edition of Overreaction Monday. I'm Rich Eisen along with Chris Brockman.
Hello.
And this Overreaction Monday, as all of them are and will be, brought to you by our friends at Game Time, the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, view from your seats. You know exactly what to expect when you arrive. We've got a promo code, folks. It's called Overreaction. You use that, and you get $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. It is also, Chris, Season 2.
Season 2.
Of Overreaction Monday.
Yes.
We are kicking it off.
Can't wait.
Our season preview of 2023 was the first ever edition of this pod.
Indeed.
And we made it.
We made it.
We're here.
We're here. Also, I predicted a lot of the things that ended up happening throughout the year.
Did you really?
Pay attention, people.
Because there are some fans of this pod. We appreciate that, whether you listen to it or see it on our YouTube channel, Rich Eisen Show YouTube channel.
Yes.
That are asking for your work
to be checked
and or mine.
Yeah.
To be reviewed.
We did review at the end of last year, post Super Bowl.
Right.
We reviewed the preview, and I had like a 70% hit rate.
Get out of here.
It was high.
What did you,
it was high.
What's one
Oh,
thing?
man, I said Lamar would be an MVP finalist. He ended up winning the whole darn thing.
I remember that, yes.
I did one just to troll you, honestly, and it ended up coming true, that the Packers would make the playoffs and the Jets would miss it.
And that happened.
That happened.
Well, you knew.
So many good things happen. Bengals to miss the playoffs.
Well, Jordan Love beating the Bears in week 1 and Aaron Rodgers having his Achilles pop in week 1.
I didn't predict that.
It was a good start.
Obviously.
No, it was a good start for
that,
your prediction to get made.
Rookie receiving record, I said, would go down.
Okay.
Puka Nacua took care of that.
All right, so that's another reason why you should take in Overreaction Monday.
Things I say happen.
If this is somehow your first foray into our world, welcome, because this is where Brockman overreacts to absolutely everything, and I sit here from high on my mount to say whether you are correct in overreacting or you are just in total, complete buffoon. There's no gray area.
There's no gray area
on this pod. So if you're new, welcome to Overreaction Monday. If you are not, welcome back, and it is time for a season preview edition for 2024. Hit it.
That was terrible. That was crap. That was garbage. This place sucks.
Overreaction Monday.
All right, Christopher.
Okay, Rich. Are you ready?
I am.
I can't
you have your piece of paper upside down.
I don't want you to peek. I don't want you to I don't want you to look ahead and maybe get an idea of how you're going to react one way or the other.
Okay.
We got 10 items up for bid.
Attaboy.
First up.
Yes.
We've been talking about this forever. It's the Dallas Cowboys. Regardless of what happens this season.
Yes.
Miss the playoffs, one and done, win the Super Bowl.
Oh, boy.
Dak Prescott should want to play somewhere else in 2025.
I understand what you're saying. He's got to sit here and go, I can't believe for the second time I'm going through the major issues that I'm going through.
Like
that
really?
I'm sitting here, and
like
as of this taping, Chris, okay, as of this recording, we are in full bloom of who knows if he's going to get it or not.
Right.
We're in full bloom of Dak answering every question known to man about Jerry Jones's business acumen, his readiness and preparedness to go into the season without a contract. Every press availability he has is taken up by this conversation.
All
and
the oxygen in the room.
He's got to be sick of it. Okay.
Just like, again, why are we doing
this?
But
I will just say this. He's got to go through the playing season. And that if they do win the Super Bowl, why would he leave a situation where he could repeat? I mean,
if he plays his whole year with no contract, as Dak said himself, that tells you one thing.
No doubt. And so what does it tell him? That he shouldn't want to be there anymore?
Why do I have to keep going through this with these guys every couple of years?
What if he sees what he sees with CeeDee Lamb and Micah's doing what he's doing and everything looks great, and it's a situation where He feels comfortable. He loves it. They win it all. Why would he want to leave and go somewhere else? Is what I'm saying. When he knows he's just given the hammer he currently holds right now.
I know. We'll just get even bigger.
TJ said on our flagship show, it's bigger than Thor's hammer. Okay, so it only gets bigger here, right? And so
Jerry Jones literally has said, if I pay you, there will be less around you to win.
But if he does sign and he goes and he does this, right? Then it's all forgotten. I can't sit here and say this
is it though.
You're overreacting a little bit. We're living in the moment right now of an emotional.
I feel bad for Dak at this point.
I understand how you're feeling that. And I understand why you'd be saying that, and I understand why he's got to be sitting there and saying, "I have done literally everything right. Why do I have to fight for everything when I've done everything the way it should be done?" So, but we're just living in a negotiation, in an emotional moment in the negotiation, and that's why it's an overreaction. Trust me, I always am honest with you. Okay,
yeah, I know.
I have been through. Let me just see. I think 4 contract negotiations in my time with NFL Network. Wow. Maybe 5. Could be 5. And there have been some that have been very simple, and there have been some that have not. Okay. Like at some point in time, I honestly thought my oldest son, who is 16 years old now, when this show was born, and he was 5, that in order to me to do the Rich Eisen Show, I thought I would have to give up a drop of his blood,
right,
to get that carve out in my contract.
Yeah, right.
And if you asked me in the middle of those negotiations, would you, Rich, not only be looking at celebrating a 10th anniversary of the Rich Eisen Show?
Congratulations to us.
Would you be actually a happy-go-lucky guy heading into season 22 with NFL Network? I would have told you no.
Yeah.
But that's when you're living in the moment. So I'm just saying,
okay.
This is ultimately an overreaction when you're talking about living in the emotional moment of a business negotiation with a National Football League entity.
Yeah.
Like the Dallas Cowboys and the Jones family. So I'll just say.
Okay. I'm sure it'll be a topic later on, but do you think this is Dak's last year in Dallas?
I don't.
Okay.
Because again, Dallas has no other, as Tom Pelissero said on our Friday flagship show, they don't have anyone under contract quarterback for 2025. Not even Trey Lance and his 5 interceptions. Even if you want to say he's a viable alternative to Dak, he's not under contract for 2025.
They have no
Cooper Rush is not under contract for 2025. Not only that, you can't franchise tag Dak because his third time of being franchised is $80 million.
That's insane.
Okay, you can't trade him because there's a no trade clause.
Right.
And then on top of it, if he leaves via free agency, it's a $40 million dead cap hit. There's then
why hasn't a deal been done?
I don't know, because that's the way the Joneses do it.
That's insane. All right, let's move on.
Yes.
The AFC West, super top heavy, right? We can agree with that.
Well, when it's led by the 2-time defending champs who seem to be loaded for bear for a third in a row, sure, okay.
They're only getting 1 playoff team. That's it.
I don't think that's an overreaction. And this is a guy who thinks that Jim will plus up the Chargers 7.
Well, that's why.
But that's still it's still a tall order. And I don't think when you see how deep the AFC North is, and then the AFC East, which we predicted on Friday's show, Dolphins won, and then we went back and forth about Jets and Bills.
Yeah, they should get 2 teams.
And even you, who put the Bills in as a third place team, said the Bills are going to be a 9-win team potentially, which could be enough for a 7 seed, by the way.
Possibly.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the AFC North is deep. And the AFC South could be particularly
that's a sneaky,
stout.
Tough division.
When you've got a Raiders team that has a question mark at quarterback, and you've got a Denver team that's starting a rookie, and you got a Chargers team that was 5th overall on the clock. We'll see what the Harbaugh does. I don't think you could sit here and say this is a crazy notion that the West is only going to get the Chiefs in, as we're sitting here for a season preview show.
Okay, I've just heard you talk about how the Chargers are going to be plussed up, X amount of games.
I was trying. A lot of that is Jim Harbaugh fandom,
Well, I mean, it's also based in fact. All the guy does is win, and
I know that.
Wherever he's coaching.
He plussed up the Niners 7 when he took over that team.
But a plus up 7 for the Chargers is a 12-5 year.
Correct,
so.
and they would be a playoff team.
Right.
And then just based on the fact that we, Jim can plus him up, and then Herbert just showed his leadership skills in his stuck elevator. Can't discount that.
That still doesn't pass the smell test, man. All of that.
You just take your tinfoil hat on and take this victory of me agreeing with you and move on.
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right, how about this one? For the first time ever, Rich, we are having I forget, what year did the Thursday kickoff start? When was that?
Oh, I can remember this because I was just starting NFL Network.
So it's been 20 years?
Well, the first one, which I was not part of because NFL Network didn't start until week 10 of the 2003 season. I was in Flushing Meadows, New York, covering the U.S. Open. You were there, too. I
was there as well.
For USA Network. I was there for CBS.
Correct.
And the Jets and Washington started the season together on that Thursday night.
Okay.
It was the last such Thursday night kickoff in which the defending champ wasn't automatically the host. So it's been happening for at least 20 seasons.
That's awesome. Well, the first time ever, we're going to have a Thursday game right after it.
Correct.
I love that. I think it's great.
You mean a Friday?
A Friday game.
Right,
a Friday game.
Yes.
I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Packers-Eagles.
Yes, sir.
This game, the result will foster the most Week 1 overreactions.
Well, I don't know how we quantify this.
I'll tell you right now. Packers win. Oh, more Eagles trouble. There's the carried over from last year, the hangover. No Jason Kelsey. Okay. Offense doesn't mix. Saquon doesn't fit.
Okay, you've given me a hint, which is the result has to affect both teams
both ways.
Hugely great.
So if Green Bay win, Green Bay's the real deal.
So Arizona Buffalo doesn't count.
Right
Hold on a minute.
move paying Jordan Love.
Baltimore Kansas City. Cleveland, Dallas, because Dallas is automatically, tips the scale. Houston, Indianapolis, no. Jacksonville at Miami. That's not a bad one, but it's also not Packers and Eagles. I get it.
Right.
I'm sounding it out here.
Talk it out.
Chargers, Raiders, no.
Talk it out.
Minnesota Giants, no. New Orleans, Carolina, no. How about Jets, San Francisco, buddy boy? Jets do well. If Jets do well,
I'm with you on that
do well.
one.
People aren't like flipping out, wigging out. Also, the San Francisco window's closed.
That's not a bad
and
one
it's
either.
also the one that's the last one. The last one is the one that rings true. By the time that you've got a full Sunday slate.
Yeah, but
people forget about what's happening Friday.
Oh, we're not going to forget about what happens
What if
Friday?
the game comes down to they both look terrific? They both look terrific.
Seems unlikely.
Niners come out and blow the doors off the Jets. The Jets, you can overreact that the season's over.
Oh,
okay.
Why did
and that
Rodgers
San
come
Francisco
back?
is the best.
Don't
discount that. Don't discount that one.
I'm
Pittsburgh, Atlanta is a sneaky good one. Pittsburgh, Atlanta is a sneaky good one.
But that's only good. That's only going to foster if Russ is just terrible, right?
I think the Thursday nighter, we're already page turning by Friday,
right?
And again, that we're giving people who might be new to our pod because they're just tuning in for the first time because it's the beginning of a season. That we are all about an Overreaction Monday, the media reaction to things.
Yeah,
okay,
it's great.
Washington, Tampa, no. So you might be right, but I'm going to say the Monday nighter has the potential for being the biggest overreaction fuel.
The problem is that's Monday into Tuesday, so that's overreaction Monday.
No, you
Tuesday,
got what I'm saying though is that you've got 3 days until the Bills and the Dolphins play again, pal. Okay, you've got 3 days.
Well, I think we locked down the two biggest games at least.
I would agree. And the kickoff is pretty damn big too, buddy.
Yeah, but the Chiefs lost last year in week 1, and
they won it all.
Yeah, what happened?
I know, and it was supposed to be gotten because they had a season that was terrible.
It totally didn't matter
in their metric.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Okay, how about that one? Speaking of the Chiefs, I don't know if you're going to like this one, but it's time for new blood, Rich. Neither the Chiefs or 49ers are going to make the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's an overreaction.
Neither of them.
How did the Chiefs not make the Super Bowl this
Well,
year?
no one's ever done it after
So that's your only reason for it.
You mean I have all of history on my side?
Which means maybe we're due to see it.
There's no statistical evidence to support being quote unquote due. However, never doing it before does back up my play. I just think, I don't know. I'm just kind of going for it. Neither the Chiefs or 49ers will make the Super Bowl.
Which one's more likely to switch up our things to not make it?
Which one's more likely to not make it?
Correct. Because you're saying neither. There will be two new teams in the Super Bowl.
Two new teams. So we've had the Chiefs a bunch lately. We've had the 49ers a couple of times as well.
Correct.
If we're talking about the Chiefs are most likely to not make it.
I'd go the other way around.
Because the AFC is too good.
Dude, I don't know. Mahomes is reaching.
Does the NFC seem top heavy to you, though?
No.
Chiefs, Eagles, 49ers, Eagles, Lions.
The Cowboys could make a nice little run. You love the Packers so damn much.
I like the Packers this year. Yeah,
Atlanta's a total toss-up, pal. The Rams, don't sleep on them, buddy. The Rams are a really good team that can catch fire and really hurt you.
Yeah, but you heard Tom on the
just like they did the years ago.
This could be Stafford's last year.
So what? That's another reason for him to.
Yeah, but if you're thinking about retiring, you're already out.
I don't know if he's going to retire either. By the way,
play somewhere else,
maybe. How about this one?
You think the Niners are most likely to not?
Yes, because I believe Mahomes has entered the Brady Jordan realm.
Yeah, well, Tom went 10 years without winning.
I know, but Tom also made the Super Bowls during those times.
2 out of 10.
And it's just, I find it hard, like on a playoff Sunday or Saturday or Monday.
You're not gonna pick against them,
and it's most likely going to be in Arrowhead. Last year was the year to go get them, and they still did it.
Last year they went to Buffalo.
Correct, and I think they're better this year. The only question mark is L'Jarius Sneed. I'm like, because again, at this point in time, we're gonna have to make Super Bowl predictions, and
I'm curious what Kelsey's gonna look like.
I don't have a six. I don't think you got to worry about that.
I don't know. We haven't seen him.
So I will say this is an overreaction, and I'll say the Chiefs will be the ones to
make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you gonna? So you're putting them in. Is this a hint at what you're gonna do next week?
I don't know. This is Overreaction Monday. Okay. That means my finger's on the chess piece, and I'm not saying that. Just because you're saying these things doesn't mean they're definites. These are overreaction subject
matters.
These
are overreactions. I think this
but
is.
You have history on your side, and you also have likeliness on your side.
I have a huge hit rate in last year's preview episode, and I have history.
Say that more.
They never. Just want people to know that I nailed a bunch last year. That's all. All right, here we go. Last one before halftime, Rich. We've been talking a lot about the Steelers. Okay, the whole Brandon Ayuk saga of the last few weeks, the quarterbacks, can he pick it out? Fields and Russ in. And we just talked to Mike Tomlin earlier this week on the flagship show.
Yes, sir.
All good things, however, must come to an end.
They're going to miss the playoffs?
And this is finally the year Mike Tomlin finishes under 500.
Man, the defense and his ability to coach just makes me say no to that. I
have a lot of question marks with the offense.
I do too.
I'm not doubting what you say about the defense.
I do too.
They're going to be an awesome defense.
I do too.
I don't know if they can score enough.
My questions about Russell Wilson the last 2 years is I got to see it. I said that the minute he showed up in Denver.
And you ended up being right about that.
And then again, like if they play 500 football through the first 10 weeks of the season,
if they go worried at the end of that schedule, week 11 on.
That's what I'm saying. If they go 5-4 in the first 10 weeks of the season,
okay,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. They need to be 6-3.
Because week 11, for those who are listening, it's on like Donkey Kong. Their entire division schedule is from week 11 on, and their only non-division opponents are Philadelphia and Kansas City.
Yeah, they got really done dirty by the schedule makers.
Well, I mean, they have to play them when they play them, but they just jam them all together.
To be right in 2 months.
And they are also a Christmas Day
which is a short
participant,
week.
Which is anybody that plays on Christmas plays Sunday the 15th, and then the following Saturday and the Wednesday after that.
And that is at Philly, at Baltimore, home for Kansas City. That is unbelievable.
Right.
Difficult.
And the games that they have before it are not simple. Their opener at Atlanta is one of them. They got the Chargers at home, Dallas at home, the 2 New York teams. Yeah, I don't think this is.
They really need to start 3-1.
I don't think that's an overreaction. Okay. But I hope I'm wrong, and I hope you're wrong.
I feel you.
But the quarterback situation there is a bit of a question mark, and rightfully so.
Yeah, agreed.
But as we can all agree, there's an upside where it might not be as bad as we're making it out to be. So 6-3 in those in those 9. They got to go 6-3 entering that stretch.
They got to
right?
be 6-3.
They got to win 2/3 of their game going into that last stretch.
Absolutely,
I think so too.
Yeah.
Game time tickets. We've been telling you about it on this podcast for a year. It's now year 2. Our relationship with Game Time tickets. We all use it on the Rich Eisen Show. You should too. I love using it because of that all-in pricing feature. It shows you your total upfront, so you don't have any surprise fees at checkout. When you say, "I want the tickets," it's not like, "Whoa, I didn't think it was that expensive," based on what I just saw. You can also see the view from your seat, regardless if it's a concert or it's a football game or it's a basketball game. You see the court, the field, the stage. It's awesome. Now there's a new feature just in time for football season called Game Time Picks. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste a single second searching through thousands of tickets. And we help you out here because we've got a promo code. I told you about it at the top. Make sure you get it down right here if you didn't already hear it. Take the guesswork right out of buying tickets with Game Time after you download the Game Time app and create an account. Use our code OVERREACTION, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Visit gametime.co for restrictions. Again, create an account, redeem our code OVERREACTION, 2 R's in Overreaction. You get $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. Okay, Christopher, second half of our season preview. I love the season preview.
I do too. It's really fun.
It's, we're looking so far down the road and over the steering wheel, we can barely see the horizon. What do you got?
During the week it's great because it's week to week, but this is really all encompassing. Rich, we've been talking about it for weeks. I feel it in my bones. 3 teams from the NFC North are making the playoffs.
So the Bears make it.
Yes,
dude. I'm high on the Bears because of how good Caleb Williams is, and it's so rare to see somebody with his talent enter the league into a situation where he is surrounded by high-skilled offensive players, right? Keenan Allen.
And it's the players they added.
Keenan Allen on the path to the Hall of Fame, right? DJ Moore, who, by the way, came in the initial package that somehow, some way got upgraded to a first overall selection a year later.
Everything broke right for them in the last 2 years.
And
Everything.
then with their own number 9 overall pick, they chose one of the best collegiate receivers we've seen in Roma Dunze, right? They already have Cole Kmet.
They added DeAndre Swift in free agency.
And last year at the trade deadline, when they acquired a guy that normally is acquired by a team with playoff hopes in the year they acquire him, in Montez Sweat. So defensively, they're ready. I just set the stage. It just seems too pat.
It does. However,
for them to make the playoffs,
it's not like this was a 3 or 4 win team last year. They were 7-10.
Right.
So to make the playoffs this year, they need to plus up
3,
2, probably 3. That's not that much. That's not that much.
I know, but man, you're saying 3 goes in from there. And 3 are the division winners. That means the Rams or the Seahawks or the Bucks or the Cowboys or the Eagles
don't make it.
They don't make it.
Hey, tough decisions are made. Tough decisions are made every year. Every year there are head scratchers who make it and who don't. And I think this is the year.
I think I just pointed out how possible it is.
Yeah, it's for sure possible.
So I won't call this an overreaction, even though I kind of think it'll be 2-2-2. I don't know what in what divisions they are. I would guess it would be the East, North, and West.
that I'll get to, and then
just the winner South. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. I don't think you'll get 3 in the East. You could get 3 in the West.
You could. I mean, I think
you can get 3 in the West.
Every division except the South, you could really make a case for 3. You know, Washington could have a great year. Maybe the Giants are going to be better than everyone's kind of giving them credit for.
Dude, you're really digging deep here.
I don't know. I mean, look, we're a week before the season starts. Literally anything is possible. We haven't seen any games yet, so I don't know. I think it's super fun. Caleb's is going to be a super fun player, and he's going to, provide a real injection to that division and to the city of Chicago. They really need it.
Let me ask you this. Is it just consensus that Green Bay is going to do it again? You know what I mean? Like, is that your consensus?
I love where you're thinking. They only really did it for half a year. Jordan Love was really only good for half the season.
Well, how about this? He was good for for a little bit more than half the season. He was special for only half a season.
Right. And that specialness got the huge contract. It went to Dallas and won a playoff game, and they were so close to winning in San Francisco.
Are we so sure that they're ready to do that again? And not only that,
I think so. The addition of Josh Jacobs, the wide receiver core, they have 4 really good wide receivers.
There's a lot of winnable games, so-called winnable games on their schedule.
What were they deficient at last year, Green Bay? Defense, right? They changed defensive coordinators. That you got to think that's going to be shored up a little bit. Matt LaFleur is such a good coach, and he doesn't get any of the credit for the early year stuff because everyone just assumed it was Aaron Rodgers. What if it was him?
And Rodgers. Come on. I know you like carping on him, but come on.
Rodgers won MVPs when
Matt
LaFleur became the head coach.
I know.
I think he gets more credit than he deserves nationally.
All right, what else you got?
Speaking of the NFC South, and we talked about them earlier, obviously, when we were talking about Chicago and the trade, that they made 2 years ago. The Panthers will not have the worst record in the NFC South.
Why do you dislike the Saints as much as you do? Why do you dislike the Saints? The Panthers.
It has nothing to do with the Saints.
The Panthers,
the Bucks could have a bad season. The Falcons could.
Panthers plus it up 4. The Saints have some good players on it. Everybody, you think Spencer Rattler is going to be the quarterback of the future by Halloween? Dennis Allen's getting bounced. They stink. Just because you're not drafting a bunch of Saints in fantasy doesn't mean they stink.
Coaching matters a lot in the NFL.
Okay. You just don't believe in Dennis Allen.
I don't think he's a very good coach. I think a lot of people agree with me. Someone who sits in this chair on the other podcast agrees with me as well.
I'm going to believe in the Saints a little bit more. You predicted the Saints would finish in last this past week.
I did.
On the flagship.
You know what? I think this is more about Dave Canales as a head coach and his ability to.
You haven't seen anything from him.
I saw him turn Geno Smith into a borderline superstar 2 years ago, and Baker Mayfield won a playoff game last year.
Yeah, but Baker's
against a team that went to the Super Bowl the year before. I think he's a really good quarterback coach. Bryce Young won the Heisman Trophy and was the #1 pick for a reason. They've added some weapons around him. They went and got Deontay Johnson. They drafted Xavier Legette. I think they're just going to be better.
I think they'll be better, but I don't think...
Even if they win 7 games.
Well, 7 games, they won't be in last place.
That's what I'm saying. That's only a plus-up of 3.
Carolina at New Orleans. You think they win that?
I kind of do.
Okay.
There's
home for the Chargers,
there's a
at Vegas, home for Cincy, at Chicago
year.
As a team you think they're making the playoffs. Atlanta, I think they win the division at Washington.
Yep, okay.
You're saying is a chance to make the playoffs. At Denver is a tough place to play. Home for New Orleans. You got a Giants team at home in Munich. I'll be calling that game.
If they sweep the Saints, beat the Raiders,
Kansas City's on their schedule, Dallas is on their schedule, Philadelphia's on their schedule, all in the back end of the season.
They only need to win 6 or 7 games.
I'm going to push back on it. I mean, am I wrong? Possible to be wrong? Sure.
No, I mean, I'm possible.
But I think
they could have the #1 pick this year, or they could go 7-10.
I don't, dude. New Orleans, I don't think is a last place team. I just don't. Nor do I think the Bucks are, and obviously, I think we all chose Atlanta to win the division. So, what else you got over there, Chris?
Yeah.
What else?
Okay, someone who's really had a weird year last year, and kind of has had a weird career since being taken first overall. Sticking in the South, Trevor Lawrence. Big bounce back this year. Trevor Lawrence, top 5 MVP voting this year.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
What's the case against him?
What's the case against him?
Do you realize
MVP? Like MVP, like 40 touchdowns?
Top 5.
40 touchdowns, 35 touchdowns,
4,400 yards,
and a fifth of the interceptions. Like what Dak did last year.
I think it's really possible. Last year, there's a clip that's been going around Twitter. You know how close he was to having 40 touchdowns last year? Calvin Ridley, foot out of bounds. Guy gets tackled at the 1. There's so many things that broke against him. Just law of averages. That stuff's going to even itself out. Added Brian Thomas Jr., maybe the best wide receiver in this draft. Travis Etienne is a beast.
Oh, I don't think the weapons aren't available, and the coach is really good
for a reason.
I understand that.
We know the talent's there. He's gotten super unlucky in his football career. Only 25 years old, entering his prime. I think the time is now for Trevor Lawrence. Winnable division. Are we sure the Texans are going to be?
Yes.
As good?
Yes, we're sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Why aren't they the exact same as Green Bay?
Oh, my goodness gracious. Because they are really good at a lot of positions and got better at a lot of positions and have a quarterback that I think showed throughout more time than Jordan Love did last year is the real deal. Like if you want to put one season up against the other and say which one's the real deal, which one's deserving of the long-term future at the position.
I think if you did a blind taste test with no names, I think Love's season looks better on paper.
I think you're out of your gourd.
Okay. There's
a gourd and you're out of it.
A lot of questions around Anthony Richardson. Only played 4 games last year. Will Levis only played a handful. I'm just saying.
I'm a believer in glass half full. That's what the NFL's all about.
They were a week away from the 1 seed.
I know, and then he got hurt. The guy also
he's been very unlucky.
He's been unlucky, and I'm just sitting here thinking top 5. Like his name will be in the MVP race this year. I mean, you got Burrow, and you've got Lamar again, and you've got Mahomes, and you've got Allen and Herbert and Tua. If he throws for another 4,000-yard season, Rodgers could have some sort of renaissance. Come on, man.
Every year there's
Purdy was in that mix. Dak was in that mix. Hurts is in that mix.
Every year there's a guy who's
got it.
We don't expect.
I hope I'm wrong on this one too.
Okay.
What else?
Yeah. Is it a hair thing? Is it? That's...
Definitely not.
Okay.
Maybe it is for you. Not jealous. Maybe you're just you get lost in the sheen.
Good one. Can we write that down?
Lost in the sheen.
All right. There will be not 1, but 2 undefeated teams heading into November.
Oh, you want to call your shot? Call it. Call your shot.
I don't want to call my shot. I don't. But every year there's
Here's
a strange
what I'm
team.
Do.
Remember when Arizona was the last undefeated team?
So what by what week is that? What week is that?
That's heading into
starts
week,
November. So first
heading
8.
into week 9.
All
so
right,
2 teams 8-0.
I'll say yes.
Maybe a 7-0.
How about I'll say yes and I'll give you the 2 teams.
Oh, what do we got?
Cincinnati.
Wow. So they beat the Chiefs.
New England, they beat the Chiefs. Home for Washington, at Carolina, home for Baltimore, at the Giants, at Cleveland, home for Philly. That's a tough one, isn't it?
That's tough. I like it, though. That's bold. That's beating the Chiefs, Ravens, and Eagles, and Browns on the road.
How about this one, then? I'll give you another one.
What about Philadelphia?
Well, I can't say that because I said Philly's about to get beat.
Right.
Philly's not a bad one, too. They got a possibility if they beat Green Bay and Atlanta. They're at New Orleans, at Tampa. Then there's a bye. That kind of helps, too,
so they
doesn't
could be
it?
7-0.
Cleveland at the Giants, at Cincinnati. How about this? I'll say that at Cincinnati and Cincinnati, Philadelphia will be for one of those teams to be that.
I like that.
Okay.
I just keep thinking back to Arizona a few years ago. They were the last undefeated team. I was like, that was weird. Nobody really saw that coming.
How about this one? You want to talk about bold? How about this one? This is really bold. At San Francisco, at Tennessee, 2 games against New England.
The Jets?
One game in London, and then 2 at home, and then one at Pittsburgh.
I got to say, Rich.
That's out of my mind.
Well, no. For our business and the content world, The Jets being undefeated going into November would be
pretty damn good, right?
Fantastic. Although their Week 9 game is October 31st.
Oh, shoot.
So
that's not cool. Wait a minute.
They play
Thursday. They play
Halloween.
So forget them.
That's funny.
So 2 teams? That's a tall order now that I'm seeing all this.
Right, well, I was trying to be bold.
2 teams?
I was trying to be bold.
How about that? I'll at least say that's an overreaction, but Philadelphia and Cincinnati in Week 8 will be undefeateds. How about that? You could kind of also sniff where I'm going for potential Super Bowl predictions.
I like it. Well. All right. Well, let's. You brought it up, so let's end on this, Rich.
Yes, sir.
The final one of this season preview. We are going to get a new Super Bowl champion this year.
Oh man. Well, that's definitely not an overreaction.
A team that's never won it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
A new Super Bowl
Well,
champion.
I know the list of teams because my 13-year-old Cooper's always like, Dad, this team's never made the Super Bowl before, right? Has they ever won it? So these are the ones that you're saying who've never won it before, right? Arizona, Atlanta, Buffalo, Carolina, Cincinnati is on that list. Cleveland's on that list. Detroit's on that list. Houston's on that list. Jacksonville's on that list. The Chargers are on that list. The Minnesota Vikings are on that list. What do we got here? Tennessee Titans are on that list, and that's it.
One of those teams is winning the Super Bowl this year in New Orleans.
I don't think you can say that's off. Cincinnati and Detroit could be an absolute Super Bowl predicted.
That would be a really, really fun Super Bowl.
Cincinnati and Detroit is no question can happen in the Super Bowl this year. So I'll say that's not an overreaction.
Wait, let me look at the colors real quick of the logo because we know that determines who's playing the game.
That's a bunch of garbage.
Let's just see what the script says.
Yeah, that's red. It's like red and gold. Chiefs colors. Red and gold.
We got,
That's Niners Chiefs right there.
Yeah, let's not do that
Based
again.
on the color scheme.
Let's not do that again.
Yeah, you don't, it's just.
No,
right?
we're ready for new teams.
You know what? It's kind of like the presidential election. You don't want to see the same matchup.
Yeah,
right?
I don't want to see that again.
That's the way America goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's an overreaction.
Yeah, let's get a new Super Bowl team this year. That would be fun.
Like a new Super Bowl, like a champion. They've never done it before.
Never done it before.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun.
I just gave a list of teams for them. Houston is entirely possible.
Houston's possible.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibilities there.
Houston and the Lions, that would be fun.
Sure. Certainly for the cities of Houston and Detroit. All right, good stuff, Christopher.
All right, Rich.
Gives everyone an idea of what Overreaction Monday's all about. That's our season preview. Every single Monday, look for us to overreact to that previous weekend's games and get you set for what we're going to overreact to the week after. That's the way we, in our in-season edition, we always predict what we're going to overreact to.
That's right.
In the following week. And then What the Football with Susie Schuster and Amy Trask also returns for season 2. Susie and Amy are going to be joining you every single Tuesday. So there's this show on a Monday, that show on a Tuesday, and, of course, the Rich Eisen Show, 12 to 3 Eastern, every single day. For Chris, I'm Rich, saying adios. Enjoy the kickoff and week 1 of the NFL season. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.